Hello. Gonna make a quick video for my new friend at Gerst Blade Works to show him and anyone else who's interested what I mean when I say a tapered tang. So this is one of the only production knives, I think it's the only production knife of which I'm aware, which employs a tapered tang. More commonly seen on custom knives. So you can see it's tapered, right? It's got the full thickness of the stock here at the point of the knife that really wants to be the strongest, right? The middle part here. And as you get down towards the end here, it tapers out. And that does something with the balance, obviously, changes the balance point of the blade and the overall weight. You remove a significant amount of the weight from the knife without really compromising very much on the strength of it, because it doesn't need to be that strong down here unless you're going to have a skull crusher pry tip thing down there. Then maybe you want it full width. But otherwise, let's say that you're nailing this into a tree and standing on it. Well, that's the point that's going to be taking all of your weight. So that's the point that needs to be thick. So yeah, the thing about the taper tang is you can't do it on a CNC machine because it doesn't leave you with anything flat on the knife, right? It's hard to get right, but I mean, really, you just scribe your lines down the middle on both sides, and then you can hollow out on the inside before flattening. And a lot of makers will actually leave a hollow here anyway for for the epoxy. If you're going to epoxy your scales on, you can leave a hollow here, and that will leave a well for the epoxy. So here's another knife with a taper tang, which is the knife I made, and it's the first knife I showed on my channel when I started posting. It's my bush knife. I call it the Arcadia. It's got what I call a triphasic grind. So we're going from kind of a full flat grind here, slightly convexed. It's all somewhat convexed to a kind of a Scandi here to another full flat, basically. I'd like to make some more experiments along this line, but yeah, you have this William Collins style Scandi tooth here. But what I noticed is that some people like William Collins are doing a kind of a Scandi into a flat grind, for example, and then you have other makers that are doing something more like, say, a hollow grind into a flat grind. And so this is my kind of take on that. You got a sliciness down here, a kind of a bill hook type hook cutting. You got a tooth you can chop in, you can whatever. It's a pretty cool knife. I enjoy it. I got a lot of knives, otherwise I would just be carrying this and using it every day because it is a dual knife. And finally, just to show this little mini knife I made, which is also a demonstration of what is a two-way taper tang. So you can see that this has the... I didn't really show off the taper tang on this knife after all that. I was just showing off the knife without showing the taper tang. But you can see. Very clearly got a taper tang, and you can imagine that this knife, if this was this thickness of stock all the way down to here, would be a lot heavier, and it would also be a lot handle heavier, whereas the balance point is right about where I like it, right where your index is, and that makes it front heavier, and that does two things. Makes it better for chopping. Also, when you have a bit more weight towards the front of your knife, it's easier for you to know and feel what your point is doing. So the two-way taper tang is that it tapers down this way, as do these two, but it also tapers this way. Subtle, but you can see, right? It's also thicker up here than down there. So this way you also have a taper, but it's more slender on this side than on that side. And this basically follows the same concept, right? You're lightening up the tang, and also you're keeping, the thickest mass right where it really is going to need it. You can get away with it being a bit thinner here if it's a bit thicker up there. And that's a two-way taper tang. It's a bit harder to do, but, you can still do it, and you don't have to scribe lines. You can do it all by eye. I didn't scribe lines on this because I made it out of hardened steel. I made it out of a pocket knife blade, so I just did it by eye. And it's a cool result, man. It really is, you know. See, that's your balance point there. Balance point would be over here otherwise, I guess, right? And that's about all I have to say about that. Bob Lovelace, renowned for the use of tapered tangs on his drop point hunters and all that. So you could check out photos of Lovelace knives. And yeah, thanks for watching.